and welcome to Valkenswaard in Holland for the 9th round of the European Rallycross Championship. We start with a look at some of the heats from Division 2. Kenneth Hansen in the red Citroën there on the inside of Martin Schanker's Escort RS2000. But Schanker it is who leads as they go into the sacked box for the first time. Hansen with the red Citroën looking for a way past him. From the tarmac they head now onto the loose. A part of the circuit named after the rally driver Stig Blomqvist, and the cars making their way through what is a very tight but very fast circuit. Schanker with Kenneth Hansen right up behind him, heading now into the Hackbocht, then onto the tarmac through the Tarzanbocht, but Schanker it is with Hansen right up behind him, first and second as they come through to complete the lap. Escort versus Citroën, as it has been for much of the championship this season. And Martin Schanker able at the moment, it seems, to fend off the Citroën. Here it runs very wide indeed, and off the circuit altogether he goes. Schanker throws it away when he is prone to doing that. Blindingly fast, and then he has the most bizarre loss of concentration, and it's happened again. He comes in too quickly and runs wide. John Cross goes past him up into second place. Steinar Uranli is up into fourth with the turbocharged Opel Vectra, but Schanker makes 2 errors in the space of a couple of corners, throws away a commanding lead, throws away second place, and now he's all fired up, looking for a way back past John Cross. The Citroën well clear in the lead now. The Fiesta in second place, and Schanker goes through on the inside, bang, into the side of the Fiesta he goes. John Cross ends up in the gravel trap. Martin Schanker loses further friends, but he's into second place. Yellow flags being waved. Steinar Uranli's Opel Vectra out of the race with extinguishment there. You can see clearly the car having briefly caught fire. Uranli safely out of the car, and Kenneth Hansen now is on target for a win. Checkered flag out, he wins the heat, and in a quick time, enough to put him into the A final. Martin Schanker coming through after a physical drive for second place and the black flag at the same time. Schanker then disqualified for the contact used to get past John Cross, and Steinar Uranli's Opel Vectra is not going any further. Plenty of drama in earlier heats as well. Peter Dolkin with the Citroën AX involved in a battle with Klaus Buttenschön. The two made contact, off they go. Dolkin into the bank in a big way. The circuit briefly blocked, and the ERA Cup contingent were also out to their old tricks. Citroën AX is having a very bad day. Division 1 saw Ivan Opland leading his heat, Peter Kramer up into second place. Vidar Christensen was third, being attacked by the Toyotas. He ran wide into the bank and then fought back. Off he went into the bank and over. Christensen's heat came to an early close. Plenty of drama then through the qualifying runs, and Vidar Christensen's Escort looking a little worse for wear. The marshals on the scene to help him out of the car, but the Norwegian's Escort very crumpled. Philippe Chanois in Division 2 fell out with Jan van der Elderen with the Sapphire Cosworth, and then the ERA Cup Brigade decided to go for the sequel. Christian Heck came off worst. Flipping Heck, he said, as he ended up on his roof. Peter Nielsen with the Rover Metro, stationary in avoidance. The dramatic heats aside, it was then time for the finals for the Division 1 cars. First of all, the C final gets underway. The yellow Escort of Lasse Sällström there makes a good start, although it's the Toyota of Christer Berlin moving through on the outside, looking for the lead, but no, Sällström it is, who's just able to cut across and maintain the lead at the moment. Jacques Franssen going through in third place with the Subaru. The cars now then off the tarmac onto the loose. Lasse Sällström it is in the lead, trying to break away from second place man Christer Berlin. The Escort versus the Toyota, the way it has been throughout the Division 1 Championship for much of the season. The two making their way again on the loose, heading now out of the Tarzanbocht and into the chicane. They only use this chicane on lap 2 onwards. They ignore it at the start and use it for successive laps afterwards. There's Jacques Franssen with the Subaru Impreza going through in third place. Not able at the moment to challenge the Toyota, as onto the loose goes Lasse Sällström, pulling away all the time, gets the car sideways but corrects it. Jacques Franssen closing up there to the tail of Christer Berlin with the Toyota. Sällström making his way through in the lead. All the time, though, Lasse Sällström is pulling further and further away, and Christer Berlin becoming distracted now by dint of having to make that Toyota very wide and fend off the third place car, that of Jacques Franssen. The Subaru looking quick. Very tidy, very well presented car of Jacques Franssen, the Belgian driver. And here in Holland, he is tucked right up behind the Swede. Is there a gap on the inside? No, there's not. squeal of tyres as they make their way through the right-hander. Nose to tail then, second and third, as up to the checkered flag, and victory goes Lasse Sällström. That puts him into the B final, and second place just goes to Christer Berlin. Jacques Franssen taking third with a white and blue Subaru Impreza. So Sällström profits most, he goes through into the B final. A very good win for him indeed, helped by the battle going on for second, delaying the drivers involved. The C final for Division 2 cars gets underway. A good start by the big Audi of Sune Andersen there on the inside, and trying to go around him on the outside, and failing there was the big Renault. Vladimir Makarov going round on the outside, but he loses the place to Kamil Verrecken with the Escort. Verrecken up into second place. Makarov getting all crossed up in his efforts to hang on to third as they make their way on the loose. Neil Mutimir runs wide at number 42. The Peugeot 205 drops back to the tail of the field there. There's a very distinctive Escort of Kamil Verrecken. The Belgian driver now sets off in pursuit of Sune Andersen. The Swedish driver with the Tommy Christopherson Audi swings through. Second place is Verrecken. Third at the moment, Makarov there with the big Renault 21 Turbo, a car that he rolled earlier on in the year in France, but he's now bounced back. Sune Andersen once again makes his way onto the loose. It looks a big heavy car to throw around, but Andersen does it very well indeed. Kamil Verrecken, his nearest opposition at the moment, as out and across the line comes Sune Andersen, the Audi pulling away now from what is shaping up to be a battle for second place. Kamil Verrecken has it at the moment, although Makarov there with the white Renault in third place, tucked right up behind the Dayglow pink with the white and blue bodywork on it as well, Escort of Verrecken. Sliding their way once more back towards the loose. Makarov with the bulky Renault up behind the Ford Escort. Rest of the field making their way through. Jan van der Elderud goes through there with the Sapphire Cosworth, and then Neil Mutimir with the Peugeot 205 at the rear of the field. Up though to victory in the C final, and a position in the B final goes Sune Andersen, the Swedish driver scoring a victory. Second place just goes to Vladimir Makarov, with third going to Kamil Verrecken. But Andersen it is who came off best. He wins and he goes through onto the back row of the grid for the B final. So Sune Andersen makes his way off the circuit as the Division 1 B final is about to get underway. Gunnar Kittelsen, the man on pole position, makes the best of the starts as they make their way down to the first corner. But look at the Toyota of Gunnar Svan right up alongside him on the outside, and Jan Becker with the Nissan gets all crossed up with a bit of help from Peter Kramer. The Dutchman there with the black, white and red Ford Sapphire Cosworth tucked in fourth place. Jos Kuipers fifth at the moment with his Escort, as onto the loose comes Gunnar Kittelsen. Now remember, he won in Belgium, and here he is struggling in the B final in Holland. The Norwegian ahead of Gunnar Svan as they make their way across the loose, heading once again now up to the Tarzan Bocht. Gunnar Svan, Jan Becker second and third. Through goes Jos Kuipers there with the white, red and green Escort, running very wide, running off the circuit briefly. He's in fifth place at the moment as the leaders throw the cars through the chicane. Gunnar Svan in second place, bouncing wide off the circuit briefly. Absolutely on the limit there with the Toyota, doing everything he knows now to try and fend off Jan Becker with the Castrol-backed Nissan there in third place. All the time, Gunnar Kittelsen is being allowed to escape up front with this battle raging on for second place. Becker gets very sideways, runs wide, allows the Toyota to pull away a little bit more, as back onto the tarmac comes Gunnar Kittelsen. You can see there the damage on the left-hand side of the car after a very fraught weekend. Gunnar Svan still driving on the limit, and Peter Kramer slows. Jos Kuipers with the Escort goes past, a bit more contact, but the Escort ahead of the Sapphire. Kuipers clips the curb, saves it as Kramer. Lasse Sällström, the B final winner, looking for a way past them both now as they make their way on the tarmac still, heading towards the Blomqvist Strada. On the loose now, that's the part of the circuit named after the former World Rally champion Stig Blomqvist, and a very sideways Jos Kuipers there with the Ford Escort managing to fend off Peter Kramer as Jan Becker again uses all of the road. Gunnar Kittelsen though in the lead, on target for a win here in the B final. The checkered flag is out, Gunnar Kittelsen wins, and that now puts him onto the back row of the grid for the A final. Second place goes to Gunnar Svan, third just to Jan Becker, with fourth going to Jos Kuipers, fifth to Peter Kramer, and sixth Lasse Sällström. So across the line to victory comes number 110, Gunnar Kittelsen, and that means that he now goes through into the A final. These they are the cars for the Division 2 B final. First of all, Bjorn Skogstad involved in the action. He seems to have been in every B final this year since he joined the championship, and he makes a tremendous start in the yellow and blue Escort to lead from Barry Squibb as they go into the first turn. Mikael Jernberg, all-white Escort, down in 4th place, just looking for a way past Jan Arthur Iversen. Jos Sturkens with the Fiesta and Suna Andersson, the C-final winner, with the red and silver Audi, complete the lineup of 6 cars as they make their way on the loose now through the tight right-hander. Skogstad it is then, in the lead. He's back onto the tarmac as they come through the Tarzan Bocht. A very sideways Barry Squibb there in 2nd place. 12 months ago here, Squibb it was who qualified on pole for the A final, but had an exhaust problem, and with all the fumes coming into the cockpit, he was almost unconscious by the end of the race. Well, nothing like that hopefully will happen for him this year. Sadly though, he's in the wrong final. He's in the B final, and a lot of work to do to stop Skogstad from flying away from him. Jan Arthur Iversen comes through in 3rd place. Mikael Jernberg there in 4th with the white Escort Cosworth. 5th and 6th, still Jos Sturkens just ahead of Suna Andersson. But Bjorn Skogstad is making this race look his own. He comes now out of the Tarzan Bocht, head once again towards the chicane. Clips the curb. So too does Barry Squibb, the Torquay Hotelier, in 2nd place. 3rd and 4th, Jan Arthur Iversen, and then Mikael Jernberg with their 2 Escorts. They make their way under the footbridge. A very sideways Fiesta 5th of Jos Sturkens. Another fight for 3rd, really shaping up well. And flames inside Iversen's Escort. You saw them there as they came down into the hairpin. He pulls to one side. He knows that things are getting a little bit too hot in the Ford. Past him will go Sturkens and Andersson. Well, Iversen's race is over. Let's hope the car isn't over as well. Flames inside it. Bjorn Skogstad, though, wins the B final. Barry Squibb comes across the line in 2nd place. 3rd goes to Jernberg, and the fight for 4th will be resolved in a moment. Jos Sturkens just snatches 4th place from Suna Andersson as the fire marshals put out the blaze on Jan Arthur Iversen's Escort. So Bjorn Skogstad goes through into the A final, and poor Jan Arthur Iversen has to survey what could have been an even more expensive drama. We move on now to the final for the ERA Cup cars, front-wheel drive, 1400cc machines running in Group N trim. Susan Bergvall gets a very good start with the red Citroën AX, and she leads as they drop down into the first corner. Susan Bergvall with the Shell Bat Citroën then coming onto the loose for the first time, and everybody else at the moment trying to be 2nd. Co Kasser it is in 2nd place at the moment. In 3rd as they go through is Kirsten Hellstrom. A great variety of lines being taken off into the bank. There goes number 503. That is Pavel Novotny. Further dramas as round spins. The car of Sven Spielger, he won the B final, but Susan Bergvall is in the lead at the moment. She comes up across the line, heading now into the chicane, and Bergvall under a lot of pressure from Co Kasser. We saw him for the first time in the last round of the championship at Belgium. Susan Bergvall, winner earlier on in the season in Portugal, trying to maintain her lead at the moment, although Kasser has a look on the inside, freewheeling as the little Citroëns make their way back onto the loose. Susan Bergvall understeers. I think she's run out of road. There's a gap on the inside, and Co Kasser doesn't need a second invitation. Through he goes into the lead. 3rd at the moment is Ruud Verkooyen up from the last row of the grid. So a very good drive by Verkooyen. Kasser in the lead, pulling away. Bergvall there in 2nd place. In 3rd is Verkooyen at the moment as they make their way once more down towards the chicane. They dive across the road, swing right, then left, then right again, then into the right-hand corner. An effort made on the inside of Verkooyen there, more contact. The Citroën barging its way up alongside, but the Suzuki of Ruud Verkooyen just able to fend him off at the moment. Susan Bergvall there, about to lose that 2nd place as Verkooyen slides up the inside. Kirsten Hellstrom in the Citroën going through to 3rd as poor old Susan Bergvall loses yet more time at that hairpin. Some very battered cars and a mechanically battered Citroën for Susan Bergvall out of the race. The Swedish girl walks away not at all happy. Co Kasser, though, is about to become delighted. He's making his way through in the lead, the checkered flag at the ready. He wins for the first time this season, and Kasser is delighted. 2nd place as they come across the line was Ruud Verkooyen, but this is how the championship now looks. Rudy Lauvers leads with 107 points to Manfred Beck's 101. Pavel Novotny is 3rd ahead of Susan Bergvall, 4th. And this is the Division 1A final. Green light, away they go. A good start by the yellow Nissan of Ivan Opland there on the outside of the road, but not surprisingly, it's the Ford Escort Cosworth that lead as they come down into the first corner with Pavel Kapny just in the lead. In second place is the former championship leader Bernd Lienemann. They're on the loose. Lienemann there in second place. Ivan Opland in third, and running very wide indeed is the big bulky Sapphire of Chris van Vernzel. A man who's also been taking part in rallies over the last 12 months, turning his hand this weekend to Rallycross as Kapny and Lienemann come through first and second. In third is Ivan Opland, and fourth is reigning champion Ludwig Hunsbeth. Gunnar Kittelsen, the man who won the B final, trapped down in last place at the moment as the leaders swing their way out of the chicane. There you can see Ivan Opland, yellow helmet, yellow overalls, yellow car. He's in third place at the moment. Fourth is the Valvoline Escort of Ludwig Hunsbeth. But can Pavel Kapny score a victory in the championship for the first time this season? Not if Bernd Lienemann has anything to do with it. He can't. Lienemann is right up behind him. From the loose, heading now back to the tarmac, and if anything, Kapny on the loose has been able to pull away from Lienemann. He, if anything, is being caught now by Ivan Opland and the battered Escort there of Ludwig Hunsbeth with the slightly damaged trim to the right rear of it. They are third and fourth, but here in the lead is Pavel Kapny. Back on the tarmac, you can see the way that second place man Lienemann with the second of the two white Escorts is closing up to race leader Kapny, and now on the loose, let's see whether it goes the other way. Let's see now if Kapny can pull away. Hunsbeth tries an impossible manoeuvre on the outside, very wide into the corner. Excellent car control, gets away with it, still fourth, right up behind Opland. Up to fifth now, Gunnar Kittelsen at the expense of Chris van Vernzel. Back onto the tarmac, understeer, up then to the checkered flag, and victory comes Pavel Kapny. The Czech Republic driver wins here in Holland. Second place across the line goes to Bernd Lienemann, and third to Ivan Opland. And Lienemann leads the championship at the expense of Richard Hutton, with Ludwig Hunsbeth now third, Opland and Svan fourth and fifth. And Pavel Kapny wins for the first time. He is understandably delighted. From the Division 1 cars to Division 2, supercars of the European Rallycross Championship, the lights go green. Martin Schanker with the white Escort makes a tremendous start to lead, with Jean-Luc Pallier turning through in second place. In third is Will Gollop, fourth is Hansen, fifth is Bjorn Skogstad, and Tommy Kristoffersen there with the Audi just looking for a way past him. He gets past. Schanker then on the loose. The RS2000 in the lead, Jean-Luc Pallier right up behind him in second place. The bewinged Citroën Santiam not letting the Escort pull away at all. Making their way from the loose to the tarmac once again. Schanker, under a great deal of pressure, now has to make sure he doesn't make a mistake. We've seen in the heats, we've seen in the past in the championship that Schanker does tend to make the odd error. When he makes an error, it normally costs him dear. Will Gollop's in trouble in the background. Gollop in the Peugeot comes to a halt. Maybe it's engine problems for Gollop's newly improved, powerful Peugeot. Whatever, he's going no further in this race, and Schanker gets a help in the rear there from Jean-Luc Pallier. Bang into the back of the Escort goes the Citroën. The pair of them far enough ahead at the moment of Kenneth Hansen as they swing through back from loose to tarmac, although Hansen now closing up to them once again. Kristoffersen is up into fourth. Ford, Citroën, Audi and Ford, the five cars of Schanker, Pallier, Hansen, Kristoffersen and Skogstad as they make their way through. Under the bridge, back to the loose, Martin Schanker it is in the lead. Now Jean-Luc Pallier knows how difficult overtaking is. He's right up behind the Ford Escort. It's a narrow circuit, it's a tight circuit, and Schanker just has enough in hand to make sure that the Citroën, frustratingly as far as Pallier is concerned, has to stay behind him. Up to the checkered flag, victory goes to Martin Schanker. The Escort wins in Holland. Schanker, the Norwegian driver, scores a win. Second, Pallier, and third, Kenneth Hansen. And Hansen still leads the championship despite Schanker's win. The Norwegian is second, with Jean-Luc Pallier third, ahead of Eklund, Gollop, and Barry Squid completing the top six after 9 rounds.